Well, we have talked about it here on Slasher U. It is not all about the scores, nor is it all about the games or the recaps or anything. When it comes to college football, college basketball, whatever we cover here at Slasher Sports, it is obviously a lot bigger than the game itself. And we noticed that in with some terrible news just on Sunday night. Um, we received some really bad news about three Virginia football players shot and killed, and it was just it changed the fact and how I felt about wanting to watch sports that day. It was hard to cover. It was hard to edit videos. We had some conversations. It just Lavelle Davis Jr., Devin Chandler, Deshaun Perry. Thoughts out to the community and the UVA football team. Just wanted to go out, and we're not looking for any views or anything on this. This isn't any kind of cloud chasing. It's just we cover college sports, and as much as we love covering college sports, sometimes it's just not fun. And this is obviously something that we are not having a good time um, seeing or anything like that, Steve. But again, University of Virginia losing three of their football players is definitely a tough day for college sports, this community, and just the United States, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, and unfortunately, University of Virginia has had other incidents on campus, not necessarily affecting sports, but the one shining light that comes out of tragic events like this is that it forces the sports fan to stop and think of the athletes that they're probably jeering during a game if they dropped a pass or whatever might be happening. They miss an open three. We forget that they're humans. We forget that they're not robots or machines, and they're not there just to entertain us. Okay, they're human beings. They're in school. Uh, these players are coming back from a field trip where I believe they saw some sort of show, in Washington D.C. So they were out living their lives. They'd already played their games. They were living their lives. They come back, and then their lives are snuffed out. So for sports fans, yes, it's a tragic story, and you can't help but want to get into read about the details or see, what is the accused shooter, what is he saying, whatever. But it causes us to pause and say, rest in peace. These are human beings, and we got to stop worrying about what's on their stat line or whether or not they're not doing as much as we think they should be doing on the field. These are people. They have families, just like we all have families. What would happen if we had a loss like that within our own family? We would be pretty devastated. So I think that the emotions that you were talking about, Christian, and what I'm talking here, those emotions are natural because it forces us to say, hey, forget what games on ESPN Plus right now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's focus, whether you're a spiritual person or you are not, send some kind of energy of some sort out to these families and out to the students and faculty and administration at the University of Virginia, because this is just an unspeakable tragedy that it's the first thing I thought of when I heard this was the Marshall football team plane crash. It was just so out of the blue and so random and so devastating. Yes, more people perished in the plane crash, but still, you don't expect that. You don't expect illness. You don't expect mental health issues. You don't expect those either, but I think it's easier to process and think itself through when you have lives taken. That totally changes the way you're viewing the events around NCAA and AIA sports.
We've already saw it in college basketball. They've canceled the game for the University of Virginia on Monday night against Northern Iowa. They stated that game will not be rescheduled. As for the UVA football team, they are set to play on Saturday against Coastal Carolina. There has, at this time that we are recording, they have not stated if they are going to play that game or not. Regardless, if they decide to play that game, it's going to be a very tough game to play without question. There's been some very heartfelt comments and quotes that came out. A statement by Virginia football coach Tony Elliott. He did put out a very nice, heartfelt comment. I'll put that in the description below. It starts off with, quote, devastation and heartache, and that is exactly how we're feeling here at Slasher U. Again, it's not all about sports. It's not all about the scores here. We cover college sports in its entirety, and unfortunately, this is something that we felt we still wanted to cover because they deserve to do. But we lost three really fantastic athletes at the University of Virginia football team.